So we are in the actions.py file, and now it's time that we make some changes here so that we can return the time. The first thing that I will do is I'll actually remove all these comments. These are not required. Here you can see we have a set of imports, and then there is a class, and the class name is action hello world. I would change the class name. Instead of action hello world, I'll rename it to action current time. Okay, since we will be returning the time, so I've changed the class name. Now this class has two functions. One is the name function and the other one is the run function. So in the name function, you have to provide a name for your action, and it should be in this format. So the name will be exactly same as the class name, the only the format will be different. So my action name is action current time. Okay, that is the action name. And whatever name is provided here, you have to register your action with the same name. Okay, so whatever name you provide in this name function, you have to register your action with the same name. So let me do that first. We'll copy this and we'll go to the domain.yml file. Here we will register the action. So let's register the actions. And the action name is action current time. Make sure this name and the name which is present in the name function should be exactly same. Now we have the run function, and run function is where you will write the logic. So in order to get the time, we have to import from date time, import date time as dt. We have to do this import, and then we will make use of this dt object. Okay, we'll make use of the dt object, and we'll call the now function, and further we will call the time function. Okay, now function and the time function. And we will convert this output into a string so that we can return this as a response. Okay, we'll convert this into a string so that we can return this as a response. And let me store it in a variable called time. And this is the variable which we will return now. And at the bottom of this, you can see there's a there's a dispatcher object, and dispatcher object calls a function called utter message. And you have to mention the text here. So the text will be time is opening and closing bracket dot format, and I'll pass the time variable over there so that I can return the time. Time is this, and we return the time. Okay. So guys, let me repeat all the steps once again. First of all, you have to change the class name as per your action. So my action is action current time. There are two functions, name function and the run function. In the name function, you have to mention the name of the action, and the same name should be registered in your domain file. Okay, same name should be registered in your domain file. And in the run function, you will write the logic to get the time, and we will return the time using the dispatcher object. So now let's go to the stories, and let's create a new story. So the new story, make sure the indentations and everything is correct. Okay. So the new story is current time path. The conversation will start with a greet. The chatbot will also respond with a greet. Then the user will ask for the current time. Please do make sure that the intent name that you're mentioning here is exactly same as the intent. Okay. So for that, I'll check the domain once, and the intent name is current underscore time. So absolutely right. And here in the action, now you will put the action name, which you have registered here in the actions in the domain. So action underscore current underscore time, you will put that as a response, and then followed by the goodbyes. Okay, done. So finally, you have added an action, and now you have to train your model again. Obviously, since you have made a lot of changes, so you have to train your model. And you all know what is the command. Command is Rasa train. Okay. By the time the training happens, let me tell you that in order to run the actions, you have to run the action server. Okay, in order to run the actions, you have to run the action server, and for that, you have to go to this file called endpoints.yml. Okay, endpoints.yml. You have to go inside this file, and you have to uncomment this part. Okay, the action endpoint. So you have to uncomment this part. Okay, in order to run the action server. So go to the endpoints.yml and uncomment this part. Okay, action endpoint. And now you have to open command prompt, navigate to your project, and then you have to run the command Rasa run actions. Remember one thing, only if you run this command, then only your actions will run. If you don't run this command, your actions will not run. And you have to run this command in a different command prompt. Okay. And do not close this command prompt. If you close this command prompt, your actions will not run. Okay. And you can see that it has registered one action, which is action underscore current underscore time. Okay. So what are the two changes you have to do? Go to endpoints.yml, uncomment this part. Okay. And then open a new command prompt, navigate to your project and run Rasa run actions. So that's a new command. And please make sure don't close this command prompt, just keep it running. Now we'll go to the main command prompt. You can see the training has been already done. So you know the command Rasa shell. Okay. Now by the time this runs, let me just go back to the whiteboard and write down the next command that you have learned. That is Rasa run actions. And this is required to run the run action server. Without this, you won't be able to run the action. So that is the fourth command that you have learned right now. And also do not forget, you have to go to endpoints.yml file and uncomment this part. Okay, let's go to the main command prompt and hopefully everything is done. Yeah, it's in the process. Almost there. So let's see. We'll start the conversation with a hi. Okay. Says, hey, how can I help you? Now I'll ask the time. What is the time? And we should get a dynamic response. And you can see we're getting the output. Time is 5:18:48. We are also getting the milliseconds, but you can write the logic to remove the millisecond and just to see the hours and the minutes. And now we'll stop this conversation. So our action server is up and running, and the logic is also working fine, and we are getting a dynamic output. So once you are in this actions.py file, you can write any kind of Python code to get any kind of dynamic output. You can fetch some data from the cloud, you can fetch data from file, and you can return that as a response. And many things can be done. If you want to add a new action, you just have to copy the class and paste again. And then you will make the changes. You will change the class name, you will change the action name, and you will write the logic as per your requirement. Okay, and you can add as many actions as you want. All you have to do, just copy and paste the class and make changes accordingly. So that was all about actions. We'll see more concepts in the upcoming videos.